What's up, y'all, man? I want to talk about Mark Breland interview he did. I believe it was in the UK. Well, he wasn't in the UK. He did an interview with some guys in the UK, and he was, they spoke about his career, and then they finally got to, the nuts and bolts of the interview. What everybody wanted to hear was the Deontay Wilder allegations that he spiked his water. Now, he said that everybody knows his character, that he didn't spike Deontay Wilder's water. He said that JD's was the guy that was handling the water, and he said a couple other things like he said Wilder would never beat Tyson Fury, and Wilder, guess he didn't like to train all that much. But we all know this about Wilder because Wilder even said in some interviews that he don't like to do traditional boxing things, like he don't like to run and do things that traditional fighters did because he's having all this success, without doing, the what people normally do as far as getting ready for a fight. And Mark Breland, he said some things like he would have beat some of the opponents that Deontay Wilder fought, things of that nature. I mean, I even know a lot of people know that Deontay Wilder's resume is not a really strong resume. He got Bermain Stavern, who he won the title off of. He has people like he has another former world heavyweight champion that had a piece of the title. A guy from Europe. I forget his name, but I know that he knocked him out. He got Tyson Fury on there twice. He got Luis Ortiz on there twice. It's not a bad resume like everybody says it is, but it's a decent resume. To me, it doesn't stack up against Anthony Joshua's resume. Him and Tyson Fury is like kind of right there. But listen, and then 78. Shout out to 78. He did an interview with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder responded to what Mark Breland said in his interview. And Deontay Wilder said that Mark Breland threw JD's up under the bus. What's up, man? Deontay Wilder said Mark Breland threw JD's up under the bus because Mark Breland kind of insinuated that JD's was the one that spiked the water because JD's was in control of the water bottle. And then Mark Breland did say something else. He said that they asked him, did Tyson Fury have something in his gloves? He said, well, JD's was in the room when he got his hands wrapped, so that means if he had something in his gloves, he was able to put something in his gloves, that everyone in that room had to be part of that. And like I said, man, I used to fight, and I had a couple fights. And yes, the commission are known to not catch everything because there's some guys that got away with some things in their gloves. But since they have a new rule of how they do things, it's some people that have got caught by trainers. See, that's what your trainer is there for. The guy that goes in there and see the other guy to get his hands wrapped, the fighter trusts that you can go in there and you can find things like Nazim Richardson did when he caught Margarito. A lot of people don't realize that Nazim Richardson caught Tito Trinidad in the fight when Tito Trinidad had against Hopkins. Not that Tito Trinidad was putting stuff in his hands wrapped, is that Tito Trinidad was wrapping his hands or using too much gauze in the state of New York, and it was not allowed in the state of New York. And I seen a thing when Freddie Roach was in Mayweather's locker room when he got his hands wrapped for the Pacquiao fight, and Freddie Roach had a discrepancy with how much of the gauze or what size gauze or the thickness of the gauze that Mayweather was using in the state of Las Vegas, and Freddie Roach said that you cannot use that type of gauze in the state of Nevada, Las Vegas, whatever. And that's what your trainer or the guy that you respect and trust, that he's going to go in there and he's going to make sure things is on the up and up. And if I don't believe Tyson Fury had anything in his gloves, especially no egg weight. He had no egg weight in his gloves. But if he did, that means the commission allowed it, JD's allowed it, because he's sitting there. He's sitting right there. But like I said, man, I don't believe none of the allegations. And Deontay Wilder said he threw JD's under the bus. But Deontay Wilder, you said that Mark Breland, you believe Mark Breland spiked your water. So where is the proof that Mark Breland spiked your water? In America, we have a thing called judicial system. When you go through the courts, when you go in that courtroom, it's not about your feelings. It's not about what you think. It's what you can prove. Can you prove that when you come in there that someone did you wrong? You have to have a preponderance of evidence. If you don't have the evidence, then you're going to get laughed out of court. You're going to lose the court case. And Deontay Wilder keeps saying that he has proof that Mark Breland spiked his water. He has proof that Tyson Fury loaded his gloves. To me, Deontay Wilder should come out with the evidence. He should be launching an investigation, because if Mark Breland spiked your water and if Tyson Fury loaded his gloves, they were trying to kill you. They were essentially trying to kill you, because not only did you have your water spiked and you were compromised by that, so you wasn't fully engaged physically, you had a guy that can fight, that's a seasoned fighter, with so-called egg weights in his gloves. So that means they were trying to commit a homicide in the ring. So those two guys should not even be in boxing. They should be in jail. But Deontay Wilder keeps saying he has proof, but he has not yet launched an investigation that I know of. Now, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. If Deontay Wilder launched an investigation, let me know if he launched an investigation, because that's what he should be doing. At this point, it should have been done months ago. But like I said, he said Mark Breland was jealous of him. He kept Mark Breland on, even though Mark Breland should have been gone a long time ago. I mean, that's his prerogative. I mean, Deontay Wilder can fire and hire whoever he wants to fire and hire. I don't care about that. He can fire and hire whoever he wants to fire and hire. My thing is this. If you're not going to bring forth evidence that this man spiked your water, stop tainting this man's name, because he can possibly want to go train someone else, and then that fighter may say, man, Deontay Wilder said you spiked his water. So you messing with this man living his chance to make a living by tainting his name, if you're not going to come up with the evidence. I don't believe that Deontay Wilder has any evidence. I just believe Deontay Wilder just couldn't take the loss. He just can't take the loss. He got beat by Tyson Fury. Hit out his best chance to beat Tyson Fury, when I said in my video before the first fight, when they announced the fight, was the first fight this is Deontay Wilder's first chance to beat Tyson Fury. Because if Tyson Fury show up, the regular Tyson Fury, he's not going to beat Tyson Fury for a multitude of reasons. Tyson Fury has started boxing way before Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury started boxing, I believe, like 8 years old. Deontay Wilder started late. Tyson Fury is more skillful than Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder has really digressed to having one hand, and that's his right hand, because he let go of the nice jab that he was displaying in the Bermane Stiverne fight. He never carried that on. Fight after fight after fight, he started relying on his power. You can't do that versus a high-level technician like Fury. You got to hope that you land that right hand, and you could be waiting on that right hand all day. But like I said, man, if Deontay Wilder is not going to launch an investigation, now he's just looking like a character of himself. He's just looking like a fool, because you keep saying that you have the evidence, but you have not launched an investigation so these people can be out of boxing, or these people can possibly be in jail, like Panama Lewis and Roscoe back, in the and I believe in the 80s, when he tampered with the gloves, taking cushion out the gloves, taking the horsehair out the gloves, or whatever was in the gloves, the padding out the gloves. You know what I'm saying? And they committed that assault in the ring against Billy. I believe his name was Billy something. I seen the documentary. But you're not doing boxing a disservice by just keep saying that you have evidence, but you don't want to come forth with the evidence. Man, let me know what y'all think about this. I just think Deontay Wilder just couldn't take the loss. No disrespect to Deontay Wilder, but man, you sound like a sore loser. If you're not going to come up with the evidence, then you need to stop talking about it and get your career back on track. That's what you need to do. Mark Breland said he's never going to be Deontay Wilder, is never going to be the same fighter again. That's yet to be proven. Deontay Wilder can go in here and try to get his career back on track. But is he going to beat Tyson Fury? No. He's not going to beat Tyson Fury. Is a bad matchup for him. Tyson Fury is a bad matchup for a lot of heavyweights. He just moved different in the ring. The man got different array of punches in the ring that he delivers. He got feints on top of feints on top of feints, which keeps you off balance. And a lot of fighters don't use the art of the feint. A lot of fighters, you see a lot of fighters, they don't even use feints. Imagine if Deontay Wilder used feints with his right hand to keep people, to freeze people, even though he's not going to throw his right hand. Now he can jab, boom, double jab, boom, hook off the jab, because they worried about the right hand. But like I said, man, Deontay Wilder is sounding like a fool out here, man. Let me know what y'all think, man. I'm out.